Forget about flying cars. What about a television that senses when you have walked into the room and starts playing your favorite show? Or a washing machine that knows a red sock from a white sock? In the future, a higher degree of personalization that specifically matches your tastes, increased artificial intelligence that can think faster than you, and incredibly fast processing will be the norm. This is the year 2025. As we hurtle towards 2025, the technological landscape continues its relentless evolution. The rapid development of new technologies in the next 10 years promises to revolutionize everything from transportation to medicine. It is a plethora of groundbreaking advancements that will reshape the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us. From the realm of artificial intelligence, to movements in our solar system and NASA's Orion spacecraft, to the interconnectedness of the Internet of Things, IoT, these trends hold immense potential to revolutionize various industries and improve our overall quality of life. In this video, we are going to expound on technology trends that will shape the future in 2025. 1. Many cities are banning fossil fuel-powered vehicles. During this period, many cities and regions around the world enforce outright bans on the use of traditional petrol and diesel-powered vehicles. This is primarily to meet climate targets under international agreements, such as the Kyoto Accord and the Paris Agreement, but is also for reasons of energy independence and improved air quality. Among the first places to announce bans were Athens, Madrid, Paris, and Mexico City. In December 2016, the mayors of each city pledged to take diesel cars and vans off their roads by 2025. Over the next few years, many more plans were announced for partial, diesel-only, or complete bans, both gasoline and diesel, in more than 20 countries. The vast majority would cover the 2025-2030 timeframe, with some being implemented sooner, e.g. 2020 for Oxford, UK, and a few others later, e.g. 2040 for China, France, and the UK. For these outliers in 2040, it was subsequently suggested that these timelines were not ambitious enough and should be brought forward. By the early 2020s, a flood of additional countries had joined this planned phase-out. With zero-emission vehicles now cheaper than ever, their numbers were growing exponentially, regardless of any bans or regulations. Batteries had been the main reason why electric cars were more expensive than their internal combustion engine (ICE) counterparts. But these prices have declined at such a rate that the overall price balance has flipped by the late 2020s. The relative cost difference continues to widen each year, making them the preferred option from now on. Many cities are beginning to see a noticeable improvement in air quality. 2. All television is becoming internet-based. During this period, cable TV and other traditional modes of television are beginning to disappear in favor of internet-based streaming. The inflexibility of scheduled programs had made them increasingly unattractive, with users shifting instead towards on-demand services, providing greater choice, convenience, and value for money. By the late 2010s, more people were streaming video online each day than watching scheduled linear TV. This trend continued into the following 2 decades, resulting in a huge loss of subscribers for older traditional media companies, which were forced to either evolve or die. In Britain, the traditional TV license fee, £157 annually as of 2020, had been called into question, with many believing it should no longer be mandatory for all television owners. A royal charter guaranteed the license fee funding until 2026, but the Conservative government proposed alternative methods of financing the BBC in the future. Among the moves suggested for implementing a new system were the use of advertising revenue, a new broadcasting levy, and the switch to a subscription-based system. This had been expected to reduce the power and influence of the BBC. However, the next royal charter extended the license fees use from 2026 until 2038. The visual quality of TV sets, tablets, and other devices has markedly improved compared to previous generations, with 8K resolutions now relatively cheap and common in most countries. Connection speeds are increasing too, able to handle the exponential growth in web data. In the 2030s, the global average broadband speed exceeds 1 gigabit per second, with early adopters and high-end users having access to even faster downloads. Furthermore, access and coverage have been made easier via expanded rural and remote networks, greater use of public Wi-Fi spots, and the rapid growth of satellite constellation. With nearly all of the world now coming online, the resulting flow of knowledge is contributing to greater awareness of political issues, corruption, and injustice. Citizens in even the poorest countries can document and disseminate their experiences on video, using mobile apps to capture footage of crimes and human rights abuses. For example, 3. Artificial intelligence and machine learning. Artificial intelligence, AI, has transitioned from a science fiction trope to a ubiquitous reality. Moving beyond basic automation, 2025 will witness the widespread integration of AI into our daily routines. Artificial intelligence, AI, is all about creating computer systems that can do things we used to think only humans could do. We can expect to see the emergence of sophisticated personal AI assistants, capable of anticipating our needs and streamlining tasks. Customer service will undergo a significant transformation, with AI-powered chatbots providing personalized and efficient support, indistinguishable from their human counterparts. AI will automate repetitive tasks in businesses and optimize decision-making processes. It will also help businesses use AI to personalize customer interactions. AI will aid in medical diagnosis and drug discovery and perform analyst roles that will drive personalized treatment plans in healthcare. 4. Smart cities. Building a sustainable and connected future. The year 2025 will witness a surge in smart city projects. Imagine a city that adapts to the needs of its residents in real time. Traffic lights dynamically adjusting to congestion patterns, management systems optimizing collection routes, and infrastructure prioritizing sustainability. These are just a few hallmarks of a smart city. This interconnected network of sensors, devices, and data promises to revolutionize urban living and enable citizens to experience a better quality of life. 5. Entertainment sensors know your tastes. In 2025, your television will not just sense that you have walked into the room. It will use multiple sensors that identify everyone in the room using facial recognition and body shape tracking sensors. Then immediately start playing the shows you recorded or that you normally like to watch. The Microsoft Kinect is an early peek at how entertainment will work in the future, says Rick Chin, the Director of Innovation at the product design software company SolidWorks, www.solidworks.com. 6. Extended reality XR, bridging the gap between physical and digital worlds. Extended reality XR encompasses augmented reality AR and virtual reality VR, latest technologies blurring the lines between the physical and digital realms. AR overlays digital elements onto the real world, while VR creates entirely immersive virtual environments. In 2025, XR is poised to transition from niche applications to mainstream adoption. Imagine attending a live concert from the comfort of your home with VR, or receiving interactive training manuals through AR overlays in a manufacturing facility. 7. Machine-to-machine, M2M sensors in everything. Tiny sensors will be embedded into everything around us, says Mike Euland, a vice president and GM at Telit, www.telit.com, company that makes the M2M sensors. This will include everything from picture frames to dog collars, pill bottle caps to the car in your garage, and even your own body. Parking meters will send data over wireless connection directly to the city. Elon says there are already early signs of this. Sensor in a car that feeds data about how you drive to the insurance company. Yet by 2025, he predicts that just about everything will have an embedded sensor. 8. Mouse revival from cryopreservation. Cryopreservation, a process where cells or whole tissues are preserved by cooling to sub-zero temperatures, witnesses major advances during this period. By far the most notable achievement is a mouse being revived from storage at a minus 196 degrees Celsius. In the past, among the most serious challenges to overcome had been damage from crystallization as a result of the freezing process. During the first decade of the 21st century, this problem was comprehensively solved by the development of cryoprotectants, offering complete vitrification. In other words, the body being preserved was turned into a glass rather than crystalline solid. A number of issues remained, however, such as the toxicity of these cryoprotectants, as well as the fracturing that occurred due to simple thermal stress. In subsequent decades, new research led to progressively more successful techniques, culminating in the mouse revival. Although a human revival is still many years away, and fraught with ethical, legal, and social hurdles, such a feat now appears to be a more realistic prospect. Once considered the stuff of science fiction, cryopreservation becomes an increasingly regular feature in mainstream scientific literature. A number of new startups are formed around this time, promising to resurrect people at some future date. 9. Human brain-scale simulations are becoming possible. The first complete simulation of a single neuron was perfected in 2005. This was followed by a neocortical column with 10,000 neurons in 2008, and a cortical mesocircuit with 1,000 neurons in 2011. Mouse brain simulations, containing tens of millions of neurons, were later achieved. From 2000 to 2025, computing power increased 1 million-fold, while scanning resolution and bandwidth also improved. By 2025-2030, exponential hardware and software improvements are making it possible to model every part of the human brain within a single system. In other words, 100 billion neurons and up to a quadrillion synapses. Although simulating a complete human brain down to the level of individual neurons and synapses is now possible, analyzing the gigantic volumes of data contained within, in order to fully understand the intricacies and interactions, take much longer. Nonetheless, this represents a major milestone in neurology and leads to increased funding towards brain-related ailments. 10. Kivalina is being inundated. Kivalina is a small Alaskan village located on the southern tip of a 7.5 miles, 12 kilometers long barrier island. Home to around 400 indigenous Inuit, its people survived over countless generations by hunting and fishing. But during the late 20th and early 21st centuries, a dramatic retreat of Arctic sea ice left the village extremely vulnerable to coastal erosion and storms. The U.S. Army built a defensive wall, but this only served as a temporary measure and failed to halt the advancing sea. 2025 is a pivotal year for Kivalina, as its residents face the need to evacuate and abandon the island. Some of the more exposed buildings are now disappearing beneath the waves. The Alaska region has been warming at twice the rate of the USA as a whole, affecting many other Inuit islands. At the same time, opportunities are emerging to exploit untapped oil reserves made available by the melting ice. 11. Sample return mission to Kamo'olawa. In 2025, China conducts a sample return mission to the near-Earth asteroid 469219 Kamo'olawa. This tiny, fast-rotating body is just 41 meters, 135 feet in diameter, and is the smallest, closest, and most stable known quasi-satellite of Earth. Its orbit and the lunar-like silicates it contains make it likely to be an impact fragment from the Moon. The mission provides confirmation of this, along with further science data. When it returns its sample a year later, the technical challenges include entering and keeping orbit around a small body with very weak gravity. Spacecraft requires long-life propulsion engines and a high-precision navigation, guidance, and control system. The return capsule must also withstand ultra-high-speed re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. China develops two mission architectures, anchor and attach, and touch and go, using both to maximize the chances of success. It lands on the asteroid using 4 robotic arms, with a drill on the end of each for anchoring. After delivering samples to Earth in a return capsule, the probe continues on towards the main belt comet 311P Pan-STARRS. On arrival in 2034, it uses a variety of imaging, spectrometer, and other instruments to investigate whether such a comet may have delivered water to the young Earth. It also provides insight into the differences between active asteroids and classic comet. 12. First crewed flight of NASA's Orion spacecraft. In late 2025, NASA conducts a first human flight of the Orion Multi-Purpose Crew Vehicle, MPCV. This test, Artemis II, follows the uncrewed Artemis I in 2022 and the Earth-orbiting prototype in 2014. These missions form part of the agency's longer-term plan for sending humans to Mars. Artemis II is placed in high Earth orbit by a new Super Heavy Lift rocket, the Space Launch System, SLS, for a period of 2 days. During this time, its crew performed checkouts of the spacecraft's life support systems, as well as an in-space rendezvous demonstration using the Spent Interim Cryogenic Propulsion Stage, ICPS, as a target. Then fires its main engine to begin a translunar injection maneuver, sending it on a lunar free return trajectory. spacecraft performs a lunar flyby with a mission duration of 10 days, passing within 10,300 kilometers, 6,400 miles of the Moon's surface, before returning to Earth. This mission is the first crewed spacecraft to travel beyond Earth orbit since Apollo 17 in 1972. The four-person crew includes a Canadian Space Agency (CSA) astronaut, first Canadian to travel beyond low Earth orbit. Artemis 2 is followed by Artemis 3 in the second half of the decade, which delivers a human crew to the Moon's south polar region. 2 astronauts, including the first woman on the lunar surface, spend roughly a week there before returning to Earth. NASA's proposed timeline includes a total of 11 Artemis missions, running until at least 2035, with potential for Orion to be used on Mars missions beyond that, in combination with a deep space habitat module for additional space and supplies. 13. Bepi-Colombo arrives in orbit around Mercury. Bepi-Colombo is a joint mission between the European and Japanese space agencies. It is only the third mission to study Mercury at close range, and only the second to enter into orbit around the planet. Consisting of a rocket component and 2 science probes, the mission is launched in 2018. It performs a total of 9 flybys around Earth, Venus and Mercury before orbital insertion on the 5th December 2025. It is the most comprehensive on-location study of Mercury ever performed, with 12 specific objectives. The European contribution, Mercury Planetary Orbiter (MPO), studies the surface and internal composition, while the Japanese probe, known as the Mercury Magnetosphere Orbiter (MMO), analyzes the magnetosphere and atmosphere. New form of ion engine is used for the propulsion system. Colombo was originally planned for a 2014 launch with 2020 arrival at Mercury, but faced a number of delays. The mission concludes in 2028. 14. Direct flights from Sydney to London and New York. In 2025, Australia's national airline, Qantas, begins offering Project Sunrise flights. This new service, described as the final frontier of long-haul travel, enables direct routes from cities in eastern and southern Australia to any major city in the world, without any connections. In the case of Sydney to London, the journey lasts for 20 hours, making it the world's longest commercial passenger flight. However, this enables a reduction in travel time of up to 4 hours compared with earlier services that required layovers. Qantas began operating non-stop flights from the western port city of Perth to London in March 2018. This ended the era of the continents of Europe and Oceania not being connected by non-stop flights, marking the first time that all continents, excluding Antarctica, had been connected by non-stop flights. The Sydney to London service is one of the final steps in a century of progress for air travel distance. Qantas had carried its first passenger in 1922 aboard an Avro 5004 biplane on a domestic flight within Queensland. Sydney to London journeys in 1935 took 12 days, made up of 31 stopovers. Project Sunrise includes 12 new Airbus A350-1000s, begin entering service in late 2025. The fleet is fully operational by 2028. They each have a seat count of 238, the lowest compared with any other A350-1000 in service. The interior designs, influenced by medical and scientific research, are specially configured for improved comfort on ultra-long-haul flights, which includes a well-being zone and more spacious seating in both premium and economy cabin. HEPA filters remove 99.9% of particles and refresh the air every 2 to 3 minutes. As part of its 2050 net zero emissions commitment, Qantas announced that all net emissions from Project Sunrise flights would be carbon offset. 15. The Internet of Things, IoT, a web of connected devices. The Internet of Things, IoT, refers to the ever-expanding network of physical devices embedded with sensors and software, all connected to the Internet. From smart appliances and wearable health trackers to connected cars and industrial equipment, the number of IoT devices is expected to explode in 2025. The interconnected web generates valuable insights for businesses and governments, enabling the development of adaptive, real-time intelligence systems that boost efficiency and productivity across various sectors, while also supporting data-driven decision-making. 16. Cybersecurity in a hyper-connected world. Evolving threats and solution. As our reliance on technology increases and the world becomes more interconnected, the need for robust cybersecurity solutions becomes paramount. In 2025, we can expect to see a rise in sophisticated cyber attacks targeting critical infrastructure, businesses, and individuals. Companies and governments should prioritize investing in advanced cybersecurity measures, implement AI-driven threat detection systems, adopt zero-trust security models to minimize vulnerabilities, and encourage individuals to protect their personal information online by practicing safe digital habits. 17. The rise of bioprinting, revolutionizing medicine and manufacturing. Bioprinting, also known as 3D bioprinting, utilizes living cells and biomaterials to create three-dimensional tissues and organs. In 2025, this technology is expected to make significant strides, bringing us closer to the realm of personalized medicine. Imagine printing replacement tissues or even entire organs for transplantation, potentially eliminating organ donor waiting lists. Bioprinting holds the promise of personalized medicine and regenerative therapies, allowing researchers to create complex tissues and organs, accelerating breakthroughs in drug discovery, enabling disease modeling, and having significant implications for healthcare. 18. Your washing machine will think for you. Smart appliances like the Samsung RF4289 smart refrigerator let you jot down notes to family members and run apps on an LCD screen. But appliances in 2025 will be even smarter, says Erlich Eberl, a senior director at Siemens AG, Siemens.com. He says your washing machine will know what you have loaded, set the time and detergent automatically, and even let you know if you have a red sock mixed in with the whites. Of course, they will also run only during times of the day when energy is cheapest. 19. Hyperautomation, robots taking over repetitive tasks. Hyperautomation refers to the automation of not just individual tasks, but entire processes. By leveraging a combination of technologies like robotic process automation, RPA, artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning, ML, companies can automate a wider range of activities than ever before. Hyperautomation enables humans to focus on creative and strategic tasks, boosts efficiency and productivity across industries, and leads to cost savings. However, it also raises concerns about job displacement and highlights the need for workforce retraining program. 20. Autonomous cars drive you home. Google has recently completed tests with a fleet of Toyota Prius cars that drive around Northern California on their own as a driver monitors the AI routines. Volkswagen announced a temporary autopilot technology that works like adaptive cruise control in sensing the road, other cars, and lane marking. You'll engage the setting and can catch up on your email while the car does the driving. Yet, by 2025, autonomous driving on some roads will be routine, says Chin. Long-range sensors will improve to the point where they work like the radars in high-tech planes. 21. Organic lights in the ceiling. Eberl also predicts that organic LED lights, OLED, will become more ubiquitous. Today, LED lights like the Switch, w.switchlightbulbs.com, are just as bright as an incandescent bulb and last for a decade. In 2025, new OLED lights will mimic sunlight. Many home builders will install them into the ceiling as track lighting. They will last just as long as LED lights, but shine with a more natural glow. 22. Home diagnosis with remote telemedicine. High-def video conferencing is one thing, but Intel is developing new technology for telemedicine where, by 2025, you may not have to go to the doctor for a diagnosis. Instead, the doctor will chat with you on a video call and ask questions, check a wound, or even prescribe medicine based on symptoms he or she observes. Interestingly, telemedicine will have several side benefits. Lower costs, better accuracy in diagnosis, because doctors will follow a set of procedures developed specifically for the remote sessions or more frequent check-ins. 23. Few smartphones like the Google Nexus use near-field communication to conduct transactions, but only if the retailer is set up to accept those payments. By 2025, phones will become the only way to pay for services and products, says Wieland. Call them super smartphones, in that they will not only pay for all transactions, airline fees, food, and even your utility bill, but these more advanced devices will finally replace every other gadget you might carry, say, a digital camera or even your laptop. 2025 is poised to be a year of unprecedented transformation. As we navigate the complexities of a rapidly evolving world, staying informed and adaptable will be crucial. From groundbreaking technologies to profound shifts in our daily lives, these trends will not only define the year, but set the stage for the future. One thing is clear: change is not just inevitable, it's accelerating. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What trends do you think will shape 2025? Let us know in the comments below.